Hello everyone, it's Lewis here. Welcome to my channel. My voice isn't actually the best at the moment to be doing a video, but it's been so long since I done one and I feel moved to do one today, so I thought I'll share this with you. I'm going to do something a bit different today. I'm just going to share this on my YouTube channel and my Fragments of Fragments blog, so it will just go to those of you who have chosen to subscribe to either of those. And so in a sense you're more interested than most in what I might share, whereas Facebook, I've taken a bit of a step back over the last 2-3 weeks, just completely off it. There's enough on there maybe that people don't want to hear what I've got to say as well, whereas if you subscribe then maybe you do. And so today I've just been reading a few books and thinking about ideas, and it struck me reading this book, Homo Deus, Yuval Noah Harari's second book, and listening last week to his first one, Sapiens, on audio. It just made me think that, or like the idea came to me more and more, that everything goes from the most simple, and then as it exists it gets more complex. So everything goes from a simple state to a more complex state the longer it exists. And I'll speak later about how you can recognize this clearly in regard to a relationship, a physical relationship with a friend or a partner. But before I get to that, and that will help you see it completely empirically, you can investigate yourself. I'm going to talk about, I suppose, just what I've learned about everything else that made me come to this conclusion. So if you start with like the universe, and I don't know if you read any science books about the Big Bang, but they say at the beginning, it was very simple. There was no physical laws, no matter even. It was just very simple. And then the Big Bang happened and it got a little bit more complex, and then gravity came and matter, and if gravity was a bit weaker, the universe wouldn't have happened. If it was a bit stronger, the universe wouldn't have happened. So then you got these physical laws and atoms and protons and all these things. So even they say after a fraction of a second the universe is way complex, like right there in the initial moment of creation. So it's already got complex. And then obviously the stars start forming, planets later on start forming around the stars, and then all of a sudden you've got our solar system, which exists in a galaxy, which exists in a universe. And so it's even more complex, isn't it? Our solar system with all its planets orbiting our sun. So then the universe has got more complex, but there was a time when the solar system was very simple with just a baby sun, if you like, and then it got more and more complex. And the same thing with planet Earth in a way. There was a time when it was just a ball of rock with no atmosphere, and then it got atmosphere. And then the planet Earth went from something very simple with not much life on it to the time when there was the first single-celled organisms that come out of the sea. And biology, science tells us that this is the case. So life on Earth was very simple or non-existent, and then plants and simple biological organisms came, and then according to Darwin all the evolution happened. And so ultimately we evolved. But I don't know if you've read Darwin's book or Sapiens, but we're genetically similar to chimpanzees to a very close degree, and even all the way back to our common mammalian ancestor, to all the other mammals. We're very close to them. Monkeys and cows have like maternal love for their offspring, and their offspring love the mum. So there's that very close bond that all mammals share. And then, according to Darwin, I don't know what you believe, you need to do some research, but ultimately then Homo sapiens came from even the simple humans, the Homo erectus and Denisovans and all these Australopithecus, all these early sapiens. Or is it sapiens? All these homos, all these humans. So they went from simple, being very close to monkeys, simple human beings, all the way up to look at us today with our Teslas and our iPhones and our YouTube. So we're much more complex than the early modern humans. So this is my way of saying that things go from simple to complex, you know. If you think about it, you'll see that this is the case with everything. You can think about any other subject that you want and you'll be able to say, yeah, that's right. And to conclude, I suppose, and to make it as clear as I can, I'm going to use the example of a relationship that will also go from simple to complex. So imagine your relationship with your partner, your spouse, whether you're married or not. Like, before you knew them, there's nothing more simple because it doesn't exist. There's no relationship. I met my wife on a plane. So before that moment when she came on the plane, our relationship didn't exist. So it couldn't have been simple. It was the most simple it could be. And then you have that initial sight, I suppose. So you've seen the person. It's a bit more complex, you know, your emotional responses to seeing that person, that attraction, and then that first social interaction, the first time you talk to them. And then as the days and weeks and months and years go by, it becomes more and more complex. Me and my wife now, we have a house and we have 2 children, and life exists as a family household. So not only has our relationship got more complex, but like, I suppose we're like suns and the children are the planets orbiting us. So we exist in this home, which is a lot more complex than a Neanderthal home would have been. And then if you don't already think that if you don't buy into the simple to complex thing, then you might be thinking, what's he on about? What's he going on about? But I suppose the point I'm trying to make, the podcast that I listen to and the books that Yuval Noah Harari and Gurdjieff write, it's very clear that now humanity, society is getting very complex. The early Homo sapiens, unless you know someone in your community, then you'd have no way of communicating with them. Whereas then there was letters and phones and fax. But now there's the internet, so I can sit here on my bed and share these thoughts, and then you can watch them in whatever, half an hour, 40 minutes after I've uploaded it. But if I wanted to share this with you in a letter, it would have taken a lot more time and would have been a simpler form of communication. So this is a very complex form of communicating, capturing yourself on a video and uploading that video to YouTube, and then someone else accessing that video, clicking it, and they've got the it's like they're here in a way, just delayed by an hour or 2. So I suppose I just thought I'd share these thoughts, because I haven't done a video in ages, and I was having them and thought, yeah, this would be good to share. But what's going to come, you know, if everything gets more complex? So the universe is much older than it ever been, and humanity is older than it's ever been, and I'm as old as I've ever been in this moment. So what's going to come if it gets more and more complex? You know, is that a good thing? Should we not make our lives more simple? Everyone's going mad and having a very mental health issues because of social media and everything. So I suppose that the point of it, beyond everything goes from simple to complex, is the fact that we need to decide for ourselves what makes our lives better. Just because technology is there, you don't have to use it. Just because everything exists around us doesn't mean we have to buy into it and get involved in it. But I'm happy that you are involved in this YouTube channel, and if you watched it to the end, I say thank you, and you must be one of the people who I was meant to share it for, because you're watching it. You know, if I just share it on Facebook, waxing philosophically, people think that I haven't got time for that. Life's busy. I've got my Netflix to watch and all my other subscriptions to catch up on. So thanks for subscribing, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. Hopefully I'll be back a bit more often.